Hi, this is Lou from Lou's Antiques and Collectibles, and we're still at the Michigan Antique Festival. And let's hear from Matt about the various vendors that they have at the festival.
Yeah, this we actually set a record this show. We've about 1,000 dealers that showed up and decided to participate in the show. We had over 300 car show cars that decided to come out. We had car sales lot cars and just obviously the wonderful food dealers as well.
Thanks, Matt. So this is 6 of 6 episodes that we did over the weekend when we were at the Michigan Antique Festival. And this is the last one, and we're going to focus on all the cars. So since I am not a car expert, I'm going to let you folks enjoy it. We have lots of interviews about the various cars. So let's listen to some music and enjoy the show.
This is a 59 Cadillac, mostly all original. The chrome on it's all original. The engine is a 390, 325 horse, all stock. Nothing's been changed on that. Has about a little over 100,000 miles on it with no repairs other than a water pump. I've had it since 1995. We really have enjoyed it. Been to many shows. I've been to here quite a few years. It's one of the longer cars you will find. The fins on the back of this car is a story on it. That's the biggest fins they ever put on a production car. The tail lights on it are different than any other model.
All right, this is a 1955 Chevy 210 Del Rey. It's a beautiful car. It came to me as a basket case, quite honestly. It was in boxes and stuff like that, and all the trim was off of it, but it was in the trunk. And it's come back to life. It took 5 years for a restoration on this car. And it's now been out of paint for well over 11 years. I think we're getting closer to 13, quite honestly. Inside the engine compartment, it's fixed up with a 327, has an Edelbrock carburetor on it. Done a lot of dress up things to it. Underneath the hood, I didn't mind going my own way with it and not keep it as stock as some cars are. So it does have a nice engine in it, a little bit of a cam in there, makes a little thumping noise when we go down the road. And the color on this, the red is Viper Red, which is a Chrysler Corporation color. The white is a very bright white from GM, and when we did clear coat it, we put pearl in it. So if you get some sunshine on it, you'll actually see it sparkle. So I've restored that pretty much to the combination red and white that it came from the factory with. On the inside, it looks like it's a custom interior, but it's not. It's replacement to the original of the interior as far as the seats and everything are concerned. And it was carpeted, what have you. You notice that it is a radio delete model. Of course, I have to have my sound system, so it's hidden in a box inside the glove box. and there is no antenna that you see outside. The antenna is hidden in the headliner. Complete replacement of the headliner and the seats and the door cards, and we painted the dashboard the colors that it needed to be to go back to original from that day. Going down the sides here, a little bit of trim on it that this car came with originally. This is actually the same stainless steel that was on the car when I bought it, so it's original to the car. Cleaned up the trunk after we emptied all of the parts that came with it, and I happened to come across a Del Rey floor mat for the trunk. It's something that you just don't see very often, and I stumbled across it. It was brand new and I bought it. Couldn't pass that baby up. Going back up the passenger side, as far as being original, it's pretty much back to original, with the exception of period correct anyhow from the 60s with the chrome 5-spoke wheels and the BF Goodrich TA radials.
This is a 2010 Dodge Challenger that had a conversion kit done to it to make it look like a 1970 Plymouth Superbird. The decals and stuff were added later on, of course, and check under the hood. It's a 5.7 Hemi RT, so that's what you get from the factory. Nothing was done to the engine, pretty much stock, which is nice. It's a newer car, so you don't have the problems associated with an older car. The conversion was done in Florida by a gentleman, and he did it on his own. He bought the parts up here in Michigan at Hyde Performance Products, and did it all on his own, so it does get a lot of attention. We stopped on the way back after we purchased it at Mr. Richard Petty's shop in Randleman, North Carolina. Mr. Petty signed the wing, and he also sat in the car and signed the dash. We were hoping he'd authenticate it. He looked at it and said that he did not do the restoration because they etched the back window as they do their own, and he had done maybe over a dozen. Kits were sent down to his shop where he did the restoration for, a dozen maybe that we knew of. And he did sit in the car. He signed the dash. Later on, we got Ramo Stott, who was another wing car driver. He was number 7. He signed the dash. So we were lucky to run into him. He's since passed away. So that's basically about it. It's an easy car to drive. It's new, and it's air conditioned.
This is my 71 Dodge Demon I got from my dad a couple years ago. It is an original 340H car. It's bored over, 30 over. Dad bought the car probably in early 1990s, handed it down to me just a couple of years ago after it sat in his pole barn for a good 25 years. I've been getting it up and running, doing a little bit of odds and ends here. Front brake disc conversion in the front. Interior was already done by Legendary back in early 90s, mid 90s. Hemi orange paint, automatic with a 727 transmission. Bucket seats. That is the original window sticker from the car that my dad had in 1971. This is not the one that goes with the car, but I thought it was kind of cool just to put it with the car just so people could see. Has the gull wing on the rear. Has an 8 3/4 rear end with 391 gears. It is one of 10,098 340 cars produced in 71. It's one of like, I don't know, 2,500 that has the tinted windows, as you can see all the way around. It is an AC car, even though it is not working at the moment, and that's kind of one of 3,500, I believe. Has 14-inch wheels on it right now. They're not dual hood scoops, as you can see. Has the original rally rims with it, so that's about it, really.
All right, well, it's a 1932 Ford three-window coupe. It's called a Deluxe Coupe, Model B. Been chopped 5.5 inches. That was done in 1955. The motor is a Chevrolet 350 bored over to 355 and dual fours on it. It's got a 5-speed transmission, manual. Got red interior in it. Allow me to open the door. We've owned the car about 25 years. We've got a roll down back window. Yeah, that's part of the Deluxe model.
Did you convert the doors?
Pardon?
Did you convert the doors?
No, that's it was the first year that Ford made the suicide doors.
Okay.
Hey, I know you.
This is a 1948 Chevy COE cab over engine. It took 5 trucks to build this. There's one for the chassis. There's one for the cab over. There's 2 pickup truck cabs welded together for the capsule in the back. So you got one on the frame. You got one for the cab over. You got 2 for the capsule, and you got one for the stake rack bed. So there's 5 trucks here to make this. It's got a big block Chevy in it. It's got a 700R 4-wheel drive automatic, 373 gear, dual exhaust. It's got air, cruise, tilt, all that good stuff. It's got enough stereo to make you deaf if you want to turn it up that loud. I got the roof lights. The outside 2 are the originals that came on the cab over. The center one is the one that was brand new, never been put on a vehicle that I got. I get all my plating done at Advanced Plating down in Portland, Tennessee. And it's a lot of work. A lot of work. The wood bed was made by Stilson Sign in Bay City. He came to my building with his equipment and did all the carpentry work, the notching, rounding of it, cutting it. The stake rack, all the stakes fit into the pockets smoothly. You don't shave wood as you're pushing it down in there. Rounded the corners. All those bolts in the bed and in the stake rack bed are stainless, polished. Everything that's under the stake rack bed is hand fabricated because there's nothing else out there like it. This is how I visioned it should have looked back in '48, so that's how I made it. But there's a lot of metal bending here and everything to get this thing done. There's 3 lights on the back for when you put it in reverse, and they're LEDs. They light up really well. So this thing is built to haul. It'll pull your camper, your boat trailer, whatever you want to pull and go up north for the weekend. It'll do it.
Hi, I'm Timothy Monty. I own the '69 Dodge Charger General Lee replica. It's got a 440 Magnum, 727 Trance. I did everything 100% myself. It's got aftermarket air conditioning, aftermarket brakes, everything brand new on the car. It's got 4-wheel disc brake system. I'm from Houghton Lake, Michigan. Took me around 5 years to build it myself. I got LED lights around the whole car, side markers, have as turn signals and running lights, sequential tail lights. It's all built up for the first season of Dukes of Hazzard. I run the original plate for the General Lee and has a built-in trailer hitch. We do stuff for Special Olympics, pull a trailer.
What's that? Oh yeah, 800. 800? Yeah.
It's got the original black interior. Didn't want to do nothing with it. It's a one-of-one car that Chrysler never knew about until 2 years ago. Guy sold the car right off the assembly line uncompleted.
Yeah, this is a 74 Bronco half cab. Bought it in 97. Went through it. It's got 77 front end and a 77 rear end. It's got a 302 and it's got a 3 on the tree. And I won't get rid of it. Goes to my grandsons and that, so I turned down an awful lot of money on it, so. But I love it. And I got another one, and then I got a 23. So.
You know, there's
She's got disc brakes, because it's got the 77 rear front end in it, and the Dana 40, and then it's got the Ford 9-inch big traction lock, original interior, and I go anywhere in the state of Michigan, I get notes saying hi on it, so. But.
It's a 1968 GTO. It's got a 400 4-barrel. It's a high output. Matching numbers. The heads have been ported and polished by Kaufman Racing. It's fully balanced. It's got a Borg Warner Super T10 with a 12 bolt from a Chevelle posi. Cruise control that we added, and the hydro brakes. Plan is to restore it sometime this summer. The paint's a little rough shape, so we're going to go through that this summer. Other than that, it's all original. It was a race car, and we have turned it back into going to become a show car again. All original panels and everything, so it's in fairly decent shape. My wife and I have done all the work to it. We bought it in New York about 3 years ago and brought it back here to Michigan to just drive it around and enjoy it.
So time to recap. So when we were at the Michigan Antique Festival over the weekend, we stayed right at the campground. It was great. There was tons of dealers outside, tons inside buildings. There was food galore, entertainment, and a really cool car show. So they have 2 shows in the spring and 2 in the fall. And we'll put a website up here so you can refer to that to know the times of the year that they have that. And totally fun. And come on to the show. This is Lou from Lou's Antiques saying goodbye, and we'll see you again. Bye.